Hey guys, thank you for joining me on Godspot. I want to speak to those who are often misunderstood. Jesus is probably one of the most misunderstood individuals in all of history. Every time he spoke, they questioned him. Here's an example. John 2:19 through 20. Jesus answered them, "Destroy the temple, and I'll raise it again in 3 days." They replied, "It has taken 46 years to build the temple, and you are going to raise it in 3 days?" They didn't get it. They perceived him as simply being arrogant. So why did they perceive him as arrogant? Because they didn't understand what he's talking about, his own death and resurrection, that his body would be raised again in 3 days. So this is what happens when you are strong in character. You have a strength of character. People can often perceive you as arrogant. And here's a number of reasons why. Number one, you have strong opinions and you're not afraid to share them. Being opinionated always runs the risk of being viewed as arrogant, because people understand. You're not suggesting, though, that your opinions are better than anyone else's, but you do believe they're just as valid. Number two, you're animated and enthusiastic in conversations. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get a bit carried away. I get very passionate, excited, and I can be a bit overbearing. I know you find that hard to believe, but it's true, it does happen. And people perceive it as arrogance when really you're just excited. Number three, you know your strengths, you're not bashful about them. Bragging is never particularly attractive, but when you know your strengths, you have a can-do attitude, and a lot of people, it rubs them the wrong way because they have a can't-do attitude. Number four, you're happy to speak up and volunteer ideas and even ask questions. You know, I go to meetings and many times I say, "Are there any questions?" and no one asks the question. And when there's an elephant in the room, I can't help myself. I've got to ask that question. It's not that I'm rude and arrogant. I just want to know. Number five, you're a natural leader. Well, if you're a natural leader, you are charismatic, you're self-confident, you are daring, and you are self-reliant. And people don't like that, especially when you take charge of situations and lead. They think, "Who are you?" And sometimes it can be perceived as arrogance. Number six, you hate poor excuses and you call them out for what they are. You know, we're all grown-ups, so you don't believe anyone should be able to hide behind excuses. And so you call people out when they come up with pathetic, poor excuses because you know better. You know that that's just a cop-out. And people don't like that when you do that to them, and in fact, they'll view you as arrogant. Number seven, you know what you like and you don't like. And you know, people really can change your mind because you know what you believe and what don't believe. You have clear likes and dislikes, and you can be perceived as stubborn. "Oh, he's just stubborn." Well, you're not being stubborn. You just know what you like and don't like. Number eight, you aren't afraid to go against the grain. When you have clear preferences, you find it easier to say no to things that don't work for you. And so that's when you say, "No, I'm not going to do that," or "I am going to do that," when everyone else is doing something different. Number nine, you're not concerned with people pleasing. You're not trying to be awkward. And there are so many people engage in people pleasing because they're afraid of rejection, but you've decided it doesn't matter what people think. Their opinion of you is your own business, and you're just going to get on with it. And that's what makes a leader. Number 10, you don't beat around the bush, and you're forthcoming in speaking the truth. You know, we all have different communication styles, and some people are incredibly delicate, and others you need to be more direct with. But whatever your way of communication is, lack of or plenty of, you need to understand that you can speak your truth, but try and speak it with a mind that you're not trying to hurt anyone. And many times I get caught out. I speak the truth, and people think I'm just being rude. When I'm not being rude, I'm just trying to be honest. I'm not out to hurt anyone, I'm just trying to be honest. Number 11, you don't let your head rule your heart. You know, in any given situation, people panic, they get upset, they start reacting. I don't like that. That's not who I am. I try to keep a level head, and I ask for the facts. And it's not that I'm trying to be arrogant. Give me the facts. I can deal with the facts. I can't help feelings, but I can deal with the facts. And many times you're perceived as arrogant. And number 12, finally and lastly, you feel comfortable in your own skin. Confidence in your body language and appearance can just as easily be mistaken as arrogance. And perhaps you do take pride in how you look, the way you wear things, because it makes you feel good. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, although you may be perceived as arrogant. I want to encourage you, be yourself, be strong of character, and have an impact on other people's lives. Thanks for listening today. Hit the like button and share it with someone else.